Hi everyone, it's Melody here, and since it's Thursday, I'm back for another live for you here in the group. So a few days ago, I published a new blog on the topic of perfectionism, and it really seemed to hit home for a lot of you, so that's what I wanted to focus on today. I'll leave a link below this video to the article itself so you can read some of the tips I shared there. But what I wanted to do today is focus on one of the main concepts I shared in that article, which is something I've dubbed the honor student hangover. So in this video today, I'm going to focus on what the honor student hangover is, how it forms, and how it relates to perfectionism. So before I dive in, if you are here live, please make sure to like this video and say hello so that I know you're watching. And even if you're catching this on the replay, please do leave a comment. Let me know you're watching as well. And I just wanted to remind you that these lives are for you. So I want them to be interactive. I want you to share your comments as I'm talking and sharing here. Please let me know your thoughts and let me know how it's resonating with you. Ask your questions. These are meant to be interactive, and I want you to get what you need out of them. So yeah, even just let me know what's hitting home for you. Okay, so now let's dive into this topic of the honor roll hangover and how it relates to perfectionism. So when I talk about the honor roll hangover or the honor student hangover, what am I talking about? So it's a term I use to describe an obsession with society's definition of success and the pressure to perform. And what I've found in my experience is that it really affects smart, sensitive women the most. And it's a form of achievement addiction that follows us over from our schooling and our younger years, and those same beliefs, attitudes, behaviors follow us over into our career. And so my assumption, and hi Mildred, thanks for joining, I'm glad you're here. My assumption is that many of you here are the classic, the consummate A+, gold star, good girl who excelled in school and was always very reliable and dependable. And that industriousness and hardworking tendency that helped you excel in school is probably still a part of who you are. It's what helps you get recognition and rise the ladder like you have and get great accolades. But the problem is this can also lead into workaholism, burnout, excessive people pleasing, and let me know if that's anyone here. And so part of the honor student hangover is because of our conditioning in school, we start to hinge our self-worth on external markers of achievement. We start getting addicted to the validation and the praise we get from other people, which only puts us at work of overworking, taking on too many responsibilities, and really following other people's definition of success, and probably doing things like taking a job that was, the safe path or one that your parents approved of, versus really listening to ourselves. And so the honor student hangover is essentially trying to be that perfect adult version of a gifted and talented student, which is, in my case, what I found to be exactly the thing that might be holding you back. So in a nutshell, the honor student hangover, it makes you more prone to being hurt by small criticisms, fearing feedback, really shying away to or being devastated by failure. And I call it a hangover precisely because these old, outdated beliefs and ways of being leave you feeling exactly like you would after you drank too much. There's a lot of anxiety, fatigue, shame, guilt, maybe judgment of yourself. And so how does the honor student hangover actually form? Well, as I mentioned earlier, it's much more common among women. And that's because women are generally socialized to be much more conscious of social cues. So our upbringing and our environment is what shapes this addiction we have to achieve and seek validation in that way. And while young boys are raised to generally be, to experiment more and roughhouse and play and take more chances, young girls, on the other hand, are praised specifically for being smart, for being studious, to adhering to the rules and being able to follow them. And through that, we learn that our value and our ability to succeed is through pleasing others, because that's exactly what we get rewarded for. And as we age, especially in puberty, that starts to shift, where young girls are really rewarded for conforming, and they're rewarded for their competence. So this idea of staying in line and being risk averse, and maintaining this image, we attach a lot of value to maintaining this image of being smart and intelligent. Those become very core parts of our identity that we fight very hard to protect, but ones that we can also become very self-conscious of. So as adults now, we go out of our way to preserve this beloved identity we have of ourselves. And to do that, since we're not in that formal school structure where we're getting graded for everything, we fall into this trap of working harder, working longer, and trying to meet every single demand that comes our way so we can feel like we measure up to that A+ student mentality. And the honor student hangover can also be influenced by the different roles we play. So if you were the smart one or the dependable one in your friends group, or if that also translates now to, as an adult, maybe becoming the go-to girl at your workplace, or having the reputation that you're the one that gets everything done. And so how does this honor student hangover relate to perfectionism? Well, perfectionism is all about having unrealistically high standards for yourself, and it directly contributes to the honor student hangover. So if you continue to expect gold stars at work, then you're going to be devastatingly disappointed when you don't get a pat on the back that you were expecting after accomplishing something. And if you're constantly trying for those A+, then you're never going to feel like your job is done or that it's good enough, because you're constantly moving and kicking the ball down the field for yourself. There is no defined end for achievement. And since you want to be flawless, you might excessively devote time to trying to perfect everything because you're desperately afraid and you're trying to protect yourself from that fear of failure. Or you endlessly judge yourself against how your friends are doing, your peers are doing, other people you see on the internet who you don't even know. So you get really caught up in this comparison trap. Now, if all of this sounds like you, I want you to know first and foremost that you're not alone. This concept came about because it's a theme I've seen among dozens of my clients, and it's something I've personally struggled with as well. So you're not alone, but you do need to know that striving for gold stars in life is great. I don't ever want to discourage anyone's ambition, but it's important to realize that the real world is very different from school. And so if you want recognition for that project and you want a pat on the back, then you have to be proactive to seek that out yourself instead of waiting back and waiting for someone else to give you that validation. You need to advocate for yourself. You need to speak up for yourself, because the only person that cares the most about your success is you. And if you fear making mistakes and you withdraw or you procrastinate or you just delay delivering something, then pulling back from that feedback is depriving yourself of opportunities to grow, of opportunities to get feedback and learn what you can be doing better. And the more time you spend comparing yourself to other people, the less energy you actually have to deliver at the level you want to and actually live your life. So if any of this resonated with you, I'd love to hear in the comments. I'd love to hear about how you see the honor student hangover has impacted your life and even how it's coming up for you today. So that's all I have for now, and I'll see you over in the group.